A very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Brevard College Baseball. We're here at Gil Cohen Field on a pleasant Monday afternoon as the Tornadoes will host Hampden-Sydney, a non-conference foe, another Division III opponent. And this game ready to get started at 3 p.m. The Tornadoes will send to the mound Bryce Bowers, while the Hampden-Sydney Tigers starting pitcher is Justin Woodall. Tornadoes starting lineup is as follows. Leading off is the shortstop, number 2, Jason Jucker. Batting second, the center fielder, number 41, Zach Allison. Batting third, first baseman, number 23, J.J. Wilkes. Batting fourth, third baseman, number 18, Brandon Johnson. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 15, Ryan Roon. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 28, Tanner Revis. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 1, Donnie Carcillo. The catcher is batting eighth. That's number 12, Matt Kelly. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 35, Jock Pledger. Pitcher for the Tornadoes, once again, is number 25, Bryce Bowers. The Tigers' starting lineup is as follows. Leading off, the left fielder, Jacob Bartlett. Batting second, the DH, Andrew Kaczynski. Batting third, the second baseman, Chase Counts. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Ryan Clausen. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Nick Grohowski. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 19, Trey Carnes. Batting seventh, the right fielder is Mark Evans. Batting eighth, the shortstop is Jonathan Treisler. Batting ninth, the center fielder, Josh Dwoomstra. And the pitcher is Justin Woodall. Well, we're about 12 minutes away from the scheduled first pitch of this one, Hampden-Sydney versus Brevard College. Glad you're able to join us. Stick around. Brevard College baseball coming up shortly. Very pleasant Monday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Brevard College Baseball. Glad you're able to join us for this one between the Hampden-Sydney Tigers and the Brevard College Tornadoes. Tornadoes, the fourth game in 3 days after a weekend series versus Maryville, doubleheader on Saturday and game 3 of the series on Sunday. And now we'll take on a non-conference foe in the Hampden-Sydney Tigers. On the mound for the Tornadoes, Bryce Bowers, and as the Tornadoes line up defensively, left fielder Donnie Carcillo, center fielder Zach Allison, right fielder Jock Pledger. The infield, Brandon Johnson at third, Jason Jucker at short, Ryan Roon at second, and the first baseman's J.J. Wilkes. Behind the plate, Matt Kelly, and on the mound, Bryce Bowers. The Tigers' batting order, Bartlett, Kaziski, Counts, Clausen, Grohowski, Carnes, Evans, Treisler, Dwemstra, and the pitcher for the Tigers is Justin Woodall. So ready to get this started, Jacob Bartlett will start things off for the Tigers. So the left fielder, Jacob Bartlett, will step into the batter's box to get things started here. And the first pitch from Bowers, a called strike, 3:06 p.m. Eastern Time, the first pitch here at Gil Cohen Field. And we are underway. An 0-1 count to Bartlett. Kaziski on deck, Counts in the hole. The 0-1 from Bowers, grounded. Jucker, nice play, and then the throw took Wilkes off the bag, but he was able to make the tag for out number one. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Andrew Kaziski, with one down here in the top of the first, senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. As the umpire who's working the infield bases is taking a look at the pitching mound and the pitching rubber in particular. Looks like everything's good to go, though. Ready to get started here. Second at-bat of this contest between the Tigers and the Tornadoes. Very pleasant temperatures. Low 60s. That pitch off the plate, ball one. Two-0 the count. To Kaziski. Hampden-Sydney enters this contest with a 10-3 overall record. So a formidable opponent for the Tornadoes on this Monday afternoon. The pitch from Bowers, low, 3-1 the count. One out, bases empty, just getting started here at Gil Cohen Field. And the 3-1. Grounded to second. Roon comes up with it. Out number two. That'll bring up Chase Counts, batting in the 3-hole, the starting second baseman for the Tigers. Counts, a senior out of Virginia Beach. The pitch from Bowers. Low outside, ball one. Two outs, nobody on. The pitch. Paints the outside corner for strike one. 1-1 the count. If the inning continues, Ryan Clausen's on deck for the Tigers. And the 1-1. Hit by pitch, so Counts will take first base. So that'll bring up Ryan Clausen, the starting third baseman, hitting in the cleanup position. With 2 outs and a runner on first after the hit by pitch of Counts. Called strike 1 to the cleanup hitter Clausen. Clausen, a junior third baseman, also listed as a pitcher from Moseley, Virginia. The 0-1. Gets past Matt Kelly, the Tornadoes catcher. Runner advances to second. Big lead off of second, but he'll settle in there, but runner advances. 1-1 now the count, with now a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Pass ball, the official scoring ruling on the advancement of Counts to second. Two one now the count after Bowers misses on that offering. Bowers, the sophomore from Madisonville, Tennessee, Sequoia High School. As that's lifted into play, very well struck, left center field, and it's going to be a home run for Ryan Clausen. 2-run home run to left center field. A towering fly ball that puts the Tigers ahead 2-0. So Tigers ahead 2-0 after the Clausen 2-run home run, and that brings up Nick Grohowski. The pitch from Bowers. Called strike 1. So Clausen hits the home run that scores Counts. All that happened with 2 outs. Now Bowers will go to work against Grohowski. He lines this to center, where Zach Allison makes the 3rd out. Tigers able to get 2 runs in the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Your score, Hampden-Sydney 2, Brevard 0. Jason Jucker will lead things off for the Tornadoes using the Led Zeppelin walkout song. And getting things started for the Tornadoes, see if that Robert Plant and Jimmy Page combo can get the Tornadoes going. Bottom of the first here, 2-0 Tigers on top. Starting pitcher for the Tigers is Justin Woodall as he goes to work against Jucker. Woodall, the freshman right-hander from Mechanicsville, Virginia, Atlee High School. And a 2-1 count. Jucker swing and a miss, actually a foul tip there, so 2-2 the count. Jucker, Allison, Wilkes, the due-ups here in this top of the, or the bottom of the first rather, as that's lifted into foul territory, well struck near that 335 foot line. Two balls, two strikes. The Jucker at bat will continue. Jason Jucker, the starting shortstop for the Tornadoes, the sophomore out of Altamont Springs, Florida, Lake Brantley High School in the central part of the state. And the pitch, fouled off. Count will remain 2-2. Hampden-Sydney with a 2-0 lead. And Tornadoes trying to answer here in the bottom of the first. Chopper there. It's going to be a base hit for Jason Jucker. Leadoff base hit. Jucker now base runner on first for Zach Allison. So that'll bring up Zach Allison. Today getting the start in center field. And Allison will have a base runner at first in the form of Jason Jucker. First pitch called strike. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. 0-2 the count. On deck for the Tornadoes, J.J. Wilkes, Brandon Johnson in the hole. Jucker, the base runner on first. And the pitch to Allison. And was unable to hold up his check swing there, strike three. That'll bring up J.J. Wilkes with Jucker, the runner at first, and one out. And the pitch to Wilkes. Inside high, ball one. And the 1-0 across the plate, strike one. So 1-1 count, one out, runner on first. J.J. Wilkes, your batter. He's the three-hole hitter, starting first baseman for the Tornadoes. And here's the 1-1. Wilkes fouls that off. 1-2 the count. And here's the 1-2. Inside, ball 2. Runner on first. Here's the 2-2. Wilkes, grounder up the middle. Second baseman able to step on the bag and then get Wilkes for the double play. So the Tornadoes, unable to cash in after the Jason Jucker leadoff single, will head to the top of the second. Hampden-Sydney 2, Brevard 0. So Trey Carnes, the catcher for the Tigers, getting things started here in the top of the second as Bryce Bowers goes back to work. And the first pitch to Carnes, fouled off, strike number 1. So 0-1 count to Carnes. Carnes, Evans, Treisler due up here in the top of the second for the Tigers. That pitch outside, ball 1. And here comes the 1-1 from Bowers. It's off the plate, ball 2. 2-0 lead after a Clausen home run in the top of the first. As that's put into play, it'll be a base hit for the Tigers, and it'll be a stand-up double for Carnes to lead off the top of the second. That'll bring up the right fielder Mark Evans with Carnes at second after the double. So Bowers will have to deal with a base runner. The pitch to Evans, strike 1. Called strike to Evans. Good looking pitch there from Bowers, breaking ball to freeze Evans. And here's the 0-1. Evans puts this into play. It's a line drive to center field. Runner from second, Carnes being waved around. He'll score, RBI single for Evans. Tigers are up 3-0. That'll bring up the shortstop Jonathan Treisler after the Evans RBI single scored Carnes, who led off this inning with a double. So just like that, Tigers are up 3-0 on top of the Tornadoes. Bryce Bowers will now go to work against Treisler. Called strike to Treisler. 0-1 count to Treisler with Dwemstra on deck. It's called strike, and then Kelly able to gun down the base runner. Great job there by Matt Kelly with that throw. And Jason Jucker with the tag. Kelly absolutely guns down Evans, the caught stealing, for out number 1. Here's the 0-2. Fouled off. The at-bat will continue. As now Bowers can focus on Treisler rather than having to worry about a base runner in the form of Evans after that caught stealing. Here's the 0-2. High, ball 1. Ground ball takes a strange hop there, but Roone able to take care of business for out number 2. I'll bring up Josh Dwemstra. Center fielder for the Tornadoes. Or check that the Tigers. He's the senior from Montpelier, Virginia, Deep Run High School. Bowers with the 1-0 count. The pitch, grounder to third, and that'll end the inning. Tigers able to get 1 run in the frame. Now with a 3-0 lead over the Tornadoes, we'll head to the bottom of the second here at Gil Cohen Field. So as we head to the bottom of the second, Brandon Johnson, the starting third baseman for the Tornadoes, hitting in the cleanup spot, will lead things off for Brevard College as Justin Woodall begins his second inning of work on the mound for the Tigers. The pitch from Woodall, outside, ball 1. Brandon Johnson, exciting freshman from Macon, Georgia, Jones County High School. Johnson fouls that back, so 1-1 count. And the 1-1. Well struck to center field. A diving attempt by the Tigers center fielder, and it'll be a stand-up double for Brandon Johnson. That'll bring up Ryan Roon after the double by Johnson. A diving effort out there in center field by Dwemstra. And that'll bring up Roon with Johnson at second base after the leadoff double. Foul ball, strike one. With Johnson leading off of second, here's the 0-1 in the dirt, ball one. So a 1-1 count to Roon with Tanner Revis, the designated hitter, on deck. We're here in the bottom of the second, a 3-0 lead. Tigers on top of the Tornadoes. Tornadoes trying to claw their way back. So that's fouled off. So 1-2 count. One, two count, no outs, runner on second. The pitch to Roon, fouled off. The at-bat will continue. Very pleasant temperatures after a couple overnight freezes a few nights ago. Pleasant baseball weather this afternoon. Roon blasts this into the gap of left center field, and that's going to score Johnson. And Roon safe at second. Big time piece of hitting there by Ryan Roon. Sharp line drive to the gap in left center field. RBI double, back-to-back doubles for the Tornadoes. Brandon Johnson led off this inning with a double. Roon, a double of his own, drove in Johnson, and that brings up Tanner Revis, designated hitter, batting in the 6th position. See if he can keep this hit parade going. The 0-1. High, inside, ball one. Wind blowing in from center field. 400, the distance to dead center. And the 1-1. Outside, ball two. So a 2-1 count to Revis with Roon, the base runner, at second. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. Tornadoes have already scored one run here. On deck for the Tornadoes is Donnie Carcillo. And the 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. Tanner Revis, junior from Candler, North Carolina, Enka High School, not all that far from here at Brevard. as that's fouled off. So the at-bat will continue the battle between Revis and Woodall. Two balls, two strikes, a runner on second. That's Ryan Roon. Revis at the plate for the Tornadoes. Roon's on the move, fouled off. The at-bat will continue. Roon will trot back to second base. Hit and run was on that last pitch. No outs. 2-2 pitch coming. Off the plate, ball 3. So it's a full count here with no outs. Revis with an opportunity with Roon in scoring position. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for out number 1. So Donnie Carcillo will head to the plate as that pitch gets away from the catcher Carnes, a wild pitch. And so now Roon at third base. So an intriguing opportunity here for Donnie Carcillo. Left-handed hitter, the senior. Called strike, 1-1 the count. Off the plate there, so 2-1 the count. And the 2-1. Low, outside, ball 3. Roon, the base runner at third. Tornadoes have scored a run in this inning. Each team with 3 hits thus far in this contest. Tigers up 3-1. Carcillo with a nice piece of hitting here. A line drive to right field is going to score Roon, and that's going to be a double for Carcillo. Great hustle on the base pass as well. 3-2 your score. Now a visit to the mound by the Tigers. Looks like their pitching coach making the trip to the mound to have a word with Woodall as Kelly comes to the plate. So 3 consecutive doubles. Johnson with a double, Roon with a double. And after the Revis at bat, a Carcillo double. 2 runs have been scored. Only 1 out with Matt Kelly at the plate. Jock Pledger on deck. And becoming a long talk at the pitcher's mound. But the Woodall appearance will continue, and Matt Kelly will step into the batter's box. Runner at second, that's Donnie Carcillo. after he drove in Rune for the second run of the game for the Tornadoes. And the pitch from Woodall. Called strike. 0-1 the count. Oh, 2 the count. Runner on second. In the pitch. Fouled back towards our broadcast location. Count will remain 0-2. Tornadoes 2 runs on 4 hits. Tigers 3 runs on 3 hits. Tornadoes trying to add to those totals. Kelly sends this into center field. Nice job by the center fielder to fire the ball back into the infield and hold the runner Carcillo. Now 2 outs and Jock Pledger. So that'll bring up Jock Pledger. Second career start for Jock Pledger. Exciting dual sport athlete for the Tornadoes. Big part of a record-breaking season for the football team this past fall. Converted running back who was turned into a defensive back and then just absolutely turned heads in the USA South at that defensive back position. And Tornadoes football team goes on to first ever bowl game and best season in school history. And Pledger a big part of that, but in the here and the now, he's the 9-hole hitter, starting right fielder today, and has an opportunity here with 2 outs to perhaps tie this contest with a base runner, Donnie Carcillo, at second. 3-0 count, so a hitter's count to Pledger. And the 3-0. Out high, inside, ball 4. So 2 runners on base now for the Tornadoes. And back to the top of the order we go, Jason Jucker. Another visit to the mound. And this might result in a pitching change. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is in just a couple moments. Pitching change here in the bottom of the second for the Tigers. So Kieran Conway will be your pitcher in relief of Woodall. Conway, the sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, throwing from the right side, and he will get started against Jason Jucker. 2 outs, 2 on. Tornadoes trying to either tie or take the lead here in the bottom of the second. So Jason Jucker to the plate. Big opportunity for Jucker here against the reliever Kieran Conway. Runners at first and second, and both of these runners with a lot of speed. Carcillo at second, Pledger at first. So I would imagine any ball put into play, if Jucker can reach the outfield, these two will be on the move. 0-1 the count. In the dirt, gets away from the catcher, and just like that, runners second and third, as on the wild pitch, the equivalent of a double steal there, as Pledger moves to second and Carcillo to third. So now the go-ahead run also in scoring position. Carcillo at third, Pledger at second. The pitch to Jucker. Jucker lines this to center, and play is going to be made there by the center fielder Duemstra. However, the Tornado is able to come back with 2 runs here in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Your score, Tigers 3, Tornadoes 2. So as we head to the top of the third, back to the top of the order we go for the Tigers. Left fielder Jacob Bartlett, first pitch swinging. That'll be handled by Matt Kelly. So nice job there by Kelly. Able to make that play in foul territory for out number 1. That'll bring up Kaziski. Very nicely done there by Kelly. So Kelly with a put out on a caught stealing, and then a put out on a difficult foul ball. So nice job defensively thus far by Matt Kelly, the catcher for the Tornadoes. Bowers versus Kaziski here, and the pitch from Bowers. Kaziski, a diving play there to try to stop it by Roon, but it gets past Roon. Base hit for Kaziski, runner at first. That'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, Chase Counts. If you recall, back in the first, Counts was hit by a pitch and then scored on a home run by the cleanup hitter Clausen, who sits on deck at the moment. Meanwhile, Kaziski, the runner at first base, with 1 out, and the pitch to Counts. Called strike. Good looking pitch there to fool Counts. Tornadoes trail 3-2, trying to keep this a 1-run ball game here in the top of the third. counts, fouls that off, 0-2 the count. And the 0-2. Hit into play, lifted to center field. Allison is there for out number 2. That'll bring up Ryan Clausen, who hit a towering home run in the first inning to give the Tigers a 2-0 lead. Tigers then took a 3-0 lead in the top of the second. Tornadoes came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the second. A pickoff play, however, Kaziski able to get back to first safely. Was just maybe another step or 2 away from getting caught into a rundown there. However, Kaziski able to stay alive there on the base paths. 1-0 the count to Clausen. Nick Grohowski on deck if this inning continues. And the 1-0. This is lifted into right field. Jock Pledger on the move, covering a lot of ground and able to make out number 3 there. Very nicely done in the outfield there by Jock Pledger. We'll head to the bottom of the third with your score, Tigers 3, Tornadoes 2. So that'll bring up Zach Allison, the center fielder, to lead off things for the Tornadoes here in the bottom of the third against Kieran Conway, the reliever who came in for Woodall for the Tigers. Allison, Wilkes, and Johnson due up for the Tornadoes here in the bottom of the third. And the 1-0 to Allison. Strike 1. There's been a lot of called strikes in this contest thus far. And the 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2 the count to Allison. Well, we mentioned Jock Pledger, a dual sport athlete, part of that football team, as is Zach Allison. Allison also a defensive back. And today the starting center fielder for the Tornadoes. Out of Hendersonville, North Carolina, West Henderson High School. And the 1-2. Allison puts that into play, and that'll be a base hit right up the middle there for Allison. That'll bring up J.J. Wilk. That'll bring up J.J. Wilkes. Wilkes' first pitch, a comebacker to the pitcher, and the original attempt at the fielder's choice at second did not go well, but they were able to get the runner in Wilkes, so 1 out on the play. And that'll bring up Brandon Johnson. You don't see that too often. Comebacker to the pitcher, a errant throw to second to try to get the lead runner to try to start a double playoff. It was backed up well by the Tigers, and then they were able to get the out at first, retiring Wilkes. Now a pickoff throw to second. And Allison able to hustle back. The count. Great to have our technical director, Destiny Williams, here controlling the camera angles. Hopefully you're enjoying the multi-camera experience here at Gil Cohen Field. 1-0 count. Outside low, ball 2. Runner at second. The tying run at second, the go-ahead run at the plate, Brandon Johnson. Johnson takes ball 3, so hitters count 3-0 with the runner in scoring position. On deck for the Tornadoes, Ryan Roon. And here's the 3-0. Actually caught the outside part of that corner. Many of the Tornadoes faithful thought maybe ball 4 there, but at bat will continue. 3-1 the count. And the pitch. Another called strike, so getting the edge of that outside corner once again. And now, just like that, a full count. As Conway has worked his way back from being behind 3-0. The pitch. Fouled off. At bat will continue this battle between Johnson and Conway. (3-2) Hampden-Sydney leading Brevard. Brevard trying to either tie or go ahead here in the bottom of the third with 1 out, a 3-2 count to Brandon Johnson. The pitch. Outside ball 4, runners first and second for the Tornadoes. So Ryan Roon with a big opportunity here. Runners first and second with 1 out. Roon, first pitch swinging, pops this up to the second baseman for out number 2. That'll bring up Tanner Revis. So we talked about Jucker's walk-up music, Led Zeppelin. Revis goes with some 70s disco, Staying Alive. First pitch from Revis, swing and a miss, strike 1. So runners first and second, Revis at the plate. The pitch from Conway. Outside, ball 1. So 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Tanner Revis, junior from Candler, North Carolina. This is popped up to the shortstop, so 2 runners stranded, and we'll head to the top of the 4th. Hampden-Sydney 3, Brevard 2. So Nick Grohowski will lead off for Hampden-Sydney here in the top of the 4th. Bryce Bowers continues his outing. Swing and a miss there, 1-1 the count. Check that, 1-2 the count. Fouled off there. The count will remain 1-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, Bowers with the strikeout. That'll bring up Trey Carnes. Nice piece of pitching there by Bowers to strike out the leadoff hitter, Grohowski. And now he goes to work against Carnes. Carnes fouls that off, strike 1. This is fouled off, so an 0-2 count. high, ball one. So 1-2 the count with one out. Bowers versus Carnes. That pitch hit Carnes, so Carnes will take first base with the hit by pitch. They'll bring up Mark Evans, the right fielder, with Carnes, the base runner, at first after the hit by pitch. One out here, top of inning number 4. Kelly, nice job blocking that pitch to contain the runner. Ball one. So 1-0 count with one out here and a runner at first. And the pitch. Called strike, 1-1 the count. Three-2 lead for Hampden-Sydney here in the top of the 4th. A weekday matinee here at Gil Cohen Field. If you want some more weekday baseball, come on out here on Wednesday when the Tornadoes host Emory and Henry. Also a 3 p.m. first pitch. Spring break for the Brevard College student body. And Tornadoes pleased to be able to get a couple of these non-conference games in during the week. Game you're watching now against Hampden-Sydney, and then the Wednesday matchup versus Emory and Henry, as that's fouled off. So 2-2 the count. Following the Emory and Henry matchup, a trip to Montgomery, Alabama at Huntington over the weekend. And then the next conference series at home for the Tornadoes, March 20th through 22nd, Tornadoes will host Pfeiffer. And the 3-2 from Bowers. Evans fouls it off. The at-bat will continue. Wind starting to pick up a bit here at Gil Cohen Field, blowing in from the outfield. So in terms of power hitting, pitcher's conditions, as this is lifted into the right center field gap, Allison able to track that ball down. However, it's going to be a double for Evans, runner second and third. That'll bring up Jonathan Treisler with runners second and third. The pitch from Bowers. Ball, 1-0 the count. Chopper to the right side of the infield. That's going to score a run. And 2 outs now, runner on third. Hampden-Sydney goes up 4-2. That'll bring up Josh Dwemstra after the RBI ground out by Treisler. So 2 outs, an 0-1 count after that foul ball. Runner on third, a 4-2 lead for Hampden-Sydney after the Tigers added a run here on the RBI ground out by Treisler. See if Bowers can escape this half inning without any further damage. Some little bit of movement out there in the Tornadoes bullpen. No one up and throwing quite yet. And the 1-1 outside, ball 2. On deck is the leadoff hitter, Jacob Bartlett, if the inning continues. And the 2-1. Well struck to left field. And at the warning track, Carcillo able to make the putout, and the Tornadoes strand a Tiger base runner. Tigers, however, able to add one more run. Your score as we head to the bottom of the 4th, Hampden-Sydney 4, Brevard 2. So Donnie Carcillo will lead things off for the Tornadoes here in the bottom of the 4th as Conway continues his relief appearance for the Tigers. First pitch called strike to Carcillo. Each team with 5 hits. Hampden-Sydney with 4 runs, Brevard with 2. As that pitch off the plate, 1-1 the count to Carcillo. Hampden-Sydney with 2 runs in the first, a run in the second, and 1 more in the 4th. Tornadoes with a 2-run second inning. It all adds up to a 4-2 lead for the Tigers. The pitch to Carcillo. Outside, ball 2. Now some action in the Tornadoes bullpen. Early indications, Sam Gowd in the bullpen for the Tornadoes, who won the USA South Rookie Pitcher of the Week earlier this season. This hit into shallow center field, handled by the second baseman for out number 1. So we've been talking about walk-up music all broadcast. Led Zeppelin, some 70s disco. Kelly goes with Snoop Dogg. And Dr. Dre, a tandem. Jock Pledger on deck for the Tornadoes. Tornadoes trailing 4-2. And the pitch. Outside, 1-1 the count.
He only wears the screen number
1-2 now the count after that called strike. And the 1-2. In the dirt, ball 2. Matt Kelly able to catch a Tigers base runner stealing. Nice job defensively earlier in this contest. He grounds out, however, here, 6-3. Now bring up Jock Pledger, Tornadoes right fielder. Reached base earlier on a 4-pitch walk, which was actually the last batter faced for the starter for the Tigers, Justin Woodall. And another ball to Pledger. Then Pledger puts that into play. Pledger trying to beat out the throw. And a base hit for Pledger, showing those wheels. First career hit for Jock Pledger. So Jock Pledger with his first career hit, beating out the throw by the Tigers shortstop, really showing that speed on the base paths. And now he is the base runner at first for leadoff hitter Jason Jucker. And the 1-0. Fouled off, 1-1. While this was Pledger's first career hit, he has scored 2 runs this season and also stole 2 bases. This is lifted into center field, but that'll be out number 3. We'll head to the 5th inning. Your score, Hampden-Sydney 4, Brevard 2. Jacob Bartlett will lead off here in the top of the 5th. First pitch swinging, fouled off. Meanwhile, Bowers continues on the mound for the Tornadoes. Bryce Bowers, the sophomore right-handed pitcher from Madisonville, Tennessee. Bowers entered this game with 4 innings pitched on the season, has doubled that total today. And the 0-2, fouled back. So Bartlett, Kaziski, and Counts due up for Hampden-Sydney. And the 0-2. Grounder on the left side of the infield. Johnson with a nifty play. Very nicely done there by Brandon Johnson for out number 1. So after a nifty play at third by Brandon Johnson to get out number 1, Kaziski takes ball 1. Called strike there, so 1-1 the count. A 4-2 lead for Hampden-Sydney as that gets past Ryan Roon, a ground ball single to right. Runner on first for the Tigers. That'll bring up Chase Counts, the second baseman, with the runner on first and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. On deck is Ryan Clausen. Pitch there off the plate, ball 1. This pitch is lifted into left field. Carcillo on the run and able to make the play. Out number 2. So 1-0 count to Clausen. And the 1-0. In the dirt, ball bounces over Matt Kelly's head. Now the runner trying to take 2 bases on the wild pitch and able to do so. So now Base runner on third, taking 2 bases on the wild pitch. And Ryan Clausen with a 2-0 count. Clausen hit a home run back in the first. The pitch, called strike, 2-1 the count. On deck, Grohowski. Carnes in the hole. And the 2-1. Sharply driven to right field. That'll score another run for the Tigers. It's a 5-2 advantage for Hampden-Sydney. So that'll bring up Nick Grohowski as Hampden-Sydney now with a 5-2 lead. 5 runs on 7 hits. Tornadoes 2 runs on 6 hits. Neither team has committed an error thus far. And the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. Looks like Sam Gouge ready to go when he's called upon out there in the Tornadoes bullpen. 3-0 now the count to Grohowski. Two outs, runner on first, a 3-0 count. Bryce Bowers versus Grohowski. The pitch, called strike, 3-1. Hampden-Sydney, 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 1 here in the fifth. Hampden-Sydney from the state of Virginia, as this is driven into center field, bounces in front of Zachary Allison, and runners first and second for the Tigers. I'll bring up the catcher, Trey Carnes. And Bowers will go to work against Carnes. Matt Kelly heading to the mound to have a word with Bowers. And now head coach Mike Victory heading to the mound. And we'll see if we'll get a pitching change or not here. With 2 outs and a 1-0 count with runners first and second. And Carnes, the batter. So after the conference with head coach Mike Victory, the Bowers outing continues. And the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. This is lifted foul. That pitch in the dirt, 3-1 the count. Hampden-Sydney with a 5-2 advantage here, trying to add to that lead here in the top of the 5th. This is lifted foul, well out of play. Full count, 2 outs, runners first and second. The pitch, fouled off yet again. Well, another win for the Tornadoes softball team. A 3-1 victory over Lancaster Bible in North Myrtle Beach. So that's 2 consecutive wins for Tornadoes softball at that invitational in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The pitch, ball 4, bases loaded. Bring up Mark Evans with the bases loaded. And now a trip to the mound for head coach Mike Victory. And indeed, this time we'll have a pitching change. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is in just a moment. Your score, Hampden-Sydney 5, Brevard 2. Sam Gould, the pitcher for the Tornadoes. Freshman from Georgetown, South Carolina. Winner of the USA South Rookie Pitcher of the Week. Week 1 of the season for the Tornadoes. And Gould will come in with a tenuous situation. The base is loaded, but there are 2 outs. Gould with a 3.00 ERA, has made 4 appearances this season, has a 1-0 record, 7 hits allowed in 6 innings pitched, just 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. So Sam Gould takes the mound in relief of Bryce Bowers. Well, we've been talking about walk-up songs all broadcast, and the pitchers also have their warm-up music. And Sam Goud uses the original score from the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which was a 1970s Clint Eastwood Western. I would venture to say Sam Goud is the only college baseball player in the country to use that song in any shape or form. The 1-0, outside 2-0. Meanwhile, bases loaded, a 5-2 lead for Hampden-Sydney. And the 2-0. Called strike there. Mark Evans at the plate. If the inning continues, Treisler on deck. That pitch outside. Three one the count. And the pitch from Goud. Ball four, so that'll score a run. 6-2 now, Hampden-Sydney on top. So a pinch runner, Noah Behringer for Hampden-Sydney, who now has a 6-2 advantage. Jonathan Treisler, your batter, and bases loaded for Sam Goud. That run will be charged to Bowers.
They scored 2 in this inning. There you go. You're good. All good now. Ball.
Hampden-Sydney, 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Tornadoes, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. This, a grounder to Jucker, makes the fielder's choice play to Roon at second. And we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Tornadoes trail 6-2. So Zach Allison will get things started here for the Tornadoes here in the bottom of the fifth. Tornadoes trailing 6-2. Allison, Wilkes, Johnson, the due-ups here in the bottom of the fifth. 2 more runs added to that Hampden-Sydney lead in the top half of this inning. Now Zach Allison heads to the plate, sees if he can get things started for the Tornadoes. The 1-0, outside, ball 2. And the 2-0. Called strike there, so 2-1 the count. Breaking news in women's lacrosse. The Tornadoes able to garner a USA South Conference weekly award. Autumn Kramer wins Women's Lacrosse Rookie of the Week for the USA South Conference. After a huge performance against Johnson & Wales Denver, where she tied the single game program record with 9 goals. J.J. Wilkes quickly into the batter's box with Allison at first. An opportunity here for the Tornadoes to cut into a 6-2 deficit. First pitch called strike. So congratulations to Autumn Kramer of Tornadoes Women's Lacrosse for winning that USA South Conference award, and also an award in track and field, Women's Field Rookie of the Week, Keelia Oliver of Brevard, freshman from Murphy, North Carolina. Big performances in discus and shot put at the UNC Pembroke Classic. So congratulations to those 2 Tornado student athletes, winners of the USA South Conference Weekly Athlete of the Week awards. Meanwhile, a 1-1 count to J.J. Wilkes. Runner at first is Zach Allison. The pitch, Wilkes, comebacker to the pitcher. He's able to make the play at first for out number 1. Runner to second. So that'll bring up Brandon Johnson, the third baseman, with a runner at second in the form of Zachary Allison. On deck for the Tornadoes, Ryan Roon. Johnson steps out of the batter's box, regroups, heads back into the batter's box. First pitch called strike to Johnson. One out, runner on second. Tornadoes trailing by 4 runs here in the bottom of the fifth. And the 0-1. In the dirt, ball 1. So 1-1 count, 1 out, runner at second. Conway continuing his relief appearance for the Tigers. That's fouled off, so 1-2 now the count. Brandon Johnson out of Jones County High School in Macon, Georgia. Swing and a miss there for strike 3, so 2 down, and that'll bring up Ryan Roon. So that'll bring up Ryan Roon. And Roon with the RBI single, scoring Allison. And a run added to the ledger for the Tornadoes. That'll bring up Tanner Revis. Revis, first pitch swinging. That's into foul territory, out number 3, but the Tornadoes able to add a run and cut the deficit to 6-3. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Hampden-Sydney 6, Brevard 3. So Matt Spagnolo, the batter for the Tigers, with Kaziski on deck. how they do like major league games. We have the announcers just bantering.
Just turn this one around.
Yeah, I'm your guy. Okay,
Here's
and the 1-1. Foul tip, strike 2.
We can go back to our little room and sit there, do music.
So runner at first, Sam Gowd on the mound for the Tornadoes. The pitch, grounded through the left side of the infield, and now runners first and second for Hampden-Sydney. Andrew Kaziski heads into the batter's box for Hampden-Sydney, now with runners first and second. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Now a conference between the umpiring crew. Not sure exactly what this is about. So now a discussion with the head coach, Jeff Kinn of Hampden-Sydney. And it might have something to do with the substitution of number 7, Matt Spagnolo, who hit for the leadoff hitter, Jacob Bartlett. And now what is becoming a lengthy discussion over this, in all likelihood, administrative misunderstanding.
Yeah, he actually does.
And now the umpires come to talk to head coach Mike Victory, the Brevard head coach. And again, our assumption is this has to do with the substitution of a pinch hitter. Perhaps he was never announced properly. So a on-field delay here at Gil Cohen Field. And after the on-field delay, looks like nothing changes. We'll just get back to action here with no outs here in the top of the 6th. 6-3. Hampden-Sydney on top. Runner going on that bunt attempt, and now runners first and third after the stolen base. Kaziski showing bunt. Meanwhile, more action in the Tornadoes bullpen. And the 1-0 from Gowd. Now 2-0 count. Runners first and third. No outs. One the count, correction. And the pitch. Sliced foul. 1-2. And the pitch from Gowd. Grounder to the right side of the infield. That's going to score a run. So runner at second now. Add a run for Hampden-Sydney. 1 out. So that'll bring up Chase Counts, the second baseman, the 3-hole hitter. Hampden-Sydney now with a 4-run lead. Counts tries to lay down a bunt. It bounces foul. Action in the Tornado bullpen. Jacob Dennis warming up. Sam Gowd on the mound in relief of Bryce Bowers. The pitch from Gowd. Outside. Ball 1. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Runner at second. Here in the top of the 6th. This non-conference Monday afternoon matinee. That's hammered foul down the left field line. Spring break for the Brevard College student body. The Brevard College softball team had an invitational in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Brevard College men's and women's tennis teams at the United States Tennis Association headquarters in Orlando, getting a bunch of matches in as well. Women's lacrosse in action throughout the spring break as well.
It was fun. I mean, we were in high school. It's not like we were like doing anything crazy. Not getting a little wild.
2-2 the count with 1 out. Runner at second. The pitch. This is well struck down the left field line, all the way to the wall, off the wall. Carcillo able to gather it. It's going to be an RBI double, an 8-3 lead for the Tigers. Ryan Clausen to the plate, as Hampden-Sydney has added 2 more runs here in the top of the 6th to take an 8-3 lead. 8 runs on 11 hits. Tornadoes 3 runs on 7 hits. First pitch off the plate, ball 1. This is driven foul. 1-1 the count. Clausen homered earlier in this contest. Grohowski on deck. This is driven deep to center field, handled by Allison. Allison then able to double up the runner who completely misjudged that fly ball. And
What's this coach doing? Just standing there. So let's see if 7 is a left field.
so end of the half inning, 2 more runs scored by the Tigers. 8-3, Tigers lead the Tornadoes.
Is that what he thought? You think? Yeah, I think he probably thought those 2 outs. The third base coach. I think or the third base coach from San.
So, do we have that defensive change now? That guy? 7?
7 should go to left field.
Looks like he's heading there. Now playing left field for the Tigers. Oh. The second guy batters. Looks like. Yeah, 17. New pitcher for the Tigers is number 17, Owen Tappy. Leading off for your Tornadoes, number 1, Donnie Carcillo. Donnie Carcillo will lead things off for the Tornadoes. New pitcher for the Tigers is Owen Tappy, freshman from Charlotte Providence Day School. And Tappy falls behind Carcillo 2-0. Now 2-2 the count to Carcillo. Tornadoes trail by 5 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 3, out number 1. That'll bring up Matt Kelly, Tornadoes catcher. First pitch called strike to Kelly. And the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2 now the count to Kelly. So after falling behind Carcillo 2-0, Tappy has thrown nothing but strikes since. So after 2 quick outs, that'll bring up Jock Pledger. Pledger with his first career hit earlier in this contest. In his second career start, playing right field for the Tornadoes this afternoon. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And the 1-2. Strike 3, so 1-2-3 inning. And we'll head to the top of the 7th. Hampden-Sydney 8, Tornadoes 3. Jacob Dennis, the new pitcher for the Tornadoes. And he will go to work against Grohowski, Carnes, and Evans for the Tigers. Are the due-up hitters. So Jacob Dennis on the mound. So Nick Grohowski will be the first batter for Jacob Dennis. Dennis, the junior right-hander from Raleigh, North Carolina, Sanderson High School. First pitch, a ball, and the 1-0. Blasted into left field. So base hit. So Ryan Boyce at the plate, fielder's choice.
Oh, no, we called him both out.
And then actually a double play turned by the Tornadoes. So very nicely done there defensively by the Tornadoes to get the first 2 outs of the inning.
It's a fielder short interference, but
This is well struck into left center field all the way to the warning track. And that'll be a double for Mark Evans here with 2 outs, top of the 7th. That'll bring up Jonathan Treisler, the shortstop, with the runner on second after the 2-out double by Evans. Jacob Dennis continuing this inning in relief.
I'm also like a pitcher's guy, so like I'm gonna. I mean, it didn't matter anyway.
Know. 1-0 count with 2 outs, runner at second. This is lifted into right center field. Allison calls off Pledger for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time here at Gil Cohen Field. Your score, Hampden-Sydney 8, Brevard 3. First pitch swinging is Jucker, and that'll be foul here in the bottom of the 7th. Jucker lifts that into center field. That'll be out number 1. J.J. Wilkes, your batter, with runner at first, 1 out, 0-2 count here in the bottom of the 7th. Tornadoes trailing 8-3. Owen Tappy with the pitch, swing and a miss, 2 outs. I'll bring up Brandon Johnson. Probably not a college basketball player, but you can really shoot it. Keep working. 1-0 the count to Johnson. Runner at first, 2 outs. And the pitch. Out, called strike. 1-1. Pickoff throw is evaded by Allison. One-two count, 2 outs, an 8-3 advantage for Hampden-Sydney. Count runs to 2-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. End of the inning. We'll head to top of the 8th inning. 8-3 Hampden-Sydney on top. Josh Dwemstra will lead off the top of the 8th for Hampden-Sydney, and he's hit by a pitch, and he'll take first base. That'll bring up Matt Spagnolo. Runner on first, no outs here. Inning number 8. Hampden-Sydney with an 8-3 lead here at Gil Cohen Field on this Monday matinee. After the time change yesterday, benefit of daylight savings time from this point forward in the calendar, and able to play these late afternoon starts. That'll bring up Andrew Kaziski, the senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Runner on first. Jacob Dennis on the mound for the Tornadoes. Chase Counts on deck for the Tigers. The pitch fouled off. 0-1 the count. Tornadoes will be back in action on Wednesday versus Emory and Henry. 3 p.m. first pitch here at Gil Cohen Field. Hope to either see you here at the ballpark or wherever you may be tuning in from. It'll be aired live on both YouTube and Facebook Live. That pitch off the plate, ball 1. Runner on first, 1 out, a 1-1 count. Dennis steps off the pitching rubber to regroup. This is lifted into center field. Allison giving chase. It's going to land in deep left center, and that's going to be a double. So runners now second and third for the Tigers. That'll bring up Chase Counts with runners second and third with 1 out. Hampden-Sydney with a 5-run lead. And now a pinch runner at second base rather. Ethan Badine running at second base. So now runners second and third, 1 out. Chase Counts at the plate. That pitch high, ball 1. And the 1-0. This is blasted to left field and over the left field fence for a 3-run home run to open up an 11-3 lead for Hampden-Sydney. Home run by Chase Counts. So after the 3-run home run by Counts, Clausen will step into the batter's box. That pitch high and inside, ball 1. Hampden-Sydney has scored in 6 different innings in this contest, en route to their 11 runs. That's fouled off. Base is now empty. 1-1 count. Pitch outside, ball 2. This has popped up. Wilkes on the case makes out number 2. Hayes Fallen, the pinch hitter for Hampden-Sydney, here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs, nobody on. Fallen, the freshman from Glen Allen, Virginia, Deep Run High School. And Jacob Dennis will go to work against him. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. The majority of Hampden-Sydney's roster from the state of Virginia, with the exception of 2 players from North Carolina and a player from Delaware, all Virginia natives. And the 1-1 with 2 outs. Fouled off, 1-2. One, 2 the count. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. lazy fly ball to center, handled by Allison for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Your score, Hampden-Sydney 11, Brevard 3. While Joseph Zub heads to the plate as a pinch hitter, we've been discussing walk-up songs all game long, and Joseph Zub uses the classic Frank Sinatra tune, New York, New York, the New York native Joseph Zub. Very nicely done by Joseph. You hear that at Yankee Stadium quite a bit. And an ode to Zub's home state of New York, the Levittown, New York native, Island Trees High School. 2-1 now the count to Zub. So we've heard from a Western from the 1970s, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack. We've heard some 1990s hip-hop. We've heard Led Zeppelin. Plenty more if you come on out here to Gil Cohen Field and check out a game in person. 3-1 the count with 1 out. That's fouled off. 3-2. Another pinch hitter is on deck, Zane Beaver, number 10. So 3-2 count with 1 out. Nobody on. Bottom of the 8th. And the pitch. Outside. Ball 4. So Zub takes first base on the base on balls. And here's Zane Beaver. Zane Beaver, the sophomore from Cherryville, North Carolina. Beaver, first pitch swinging, And a highlight reel type play in the outfield robs Beaver of a potential extra base hit. And with 2 outs, Beavers retired. That'll bring up Matt Kelly, the Tornadoes catcher, with Joseph Zub, the base runner at first base. And the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Jock Pledger on deck if the inning continues. And the 1-0. Kelly puts this into play, a chopper to the shortstop. He makes the play at second for the fielder's choice. End of the inning, we'll head to the top of the 9th. Hampden-Sydney 11, Tornadoes 3. So these changes for the Tornadoes, new pitcher is Ryan Turdy, the left-hander. Zach Wolf is now playing second base, and remaining in the game at left field, Zane Beaver. So Ryan Boyce will lead things off for the Tigers after those changes defensively for the Tornadoes. Zach Wolf at second, Zane Beaver in left, and the new pitcher is Ryan Turdy. We mentioned not only do the hitters have walk-up songs, the pitchers have warm-up music as well. And Ryan Turdy uses a hit from Damian Marley as that's blasted into left field. And it's going to be a double, make that now going for 3, and it'll be a triple. And a runner on third for Boyce. So after the triple, here's another pinch hitter, Matt Mulick. That pitch gets away from Kelly. Nice job, Kelly, working with Turdy to keep the runner at third base. So 1-0 count, runner at third. An 11-3 Hampden-Sydney advantage. That pitch just misses, ball 3. Three balls, one strike, runner at third. Boyce after the triple to lead off this top of the ninth. The pitch. Ball 4 and gets away from Kelly in the process, so add a run to Hampden-Sydney's side of the ledger. So now runner at first after the run scored on the wild pitch on the walk. Now a 12-3 lead, and a pinch hitter for Hampden-Sydney is Scott Breeden, junior from Smithfield, Virginia. Called strike there. 1-1 the count. And the 1-1. Hit by pitch. So runners now first and second for Hampden-Sydney. That'll bring up Dwemstra. First pitch swinging, potential double play ball here for the Tornadoes. And Dwemstra able to beat it out at first, so fielder's choice goes 5-4. Now batting now is Owen Tappy, who has gotten some work in on the mound this contest. Now we see him at the plate. Pitch inside, 2-0 the count. So runners first and third, and Tappy, the batter. Freshman from Charlotte. And the 2-0. Called strike, 2-1 the count with 1 out. Hampden-Sydney, 12 runs on 16 hits. Tornadoes, 3 runs on 8 hits. Hampden-Sydney has scored in 7 of the 9 innings. Comebacker there to Turdy. And that'll be a base hit. So new pitcher for the Tornadoes is Bobby Massey, right-hander. As pitch there is outside. 1-1 the count with 1 out. And the 2-1. High, outside, ball 3. That's fouled off. So full count to Bodine. Massey, the freshman from Huntersville, North Carolina, Hopewell High School. That's fouled off. At bat will continue. This is lifted to center field. Allison will be able to squeeze it for out number 2. However, it's going to be a sacrifice fly RBI. Run scores. Add 1 more run to Hampden-Sydney's side of the ledger. 10-run lead now. Chase Counts to the plate with runners at first and second. A 13-3 advantage for the Tigers. Pop up to Zach Wolf for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth. 13-3 Hampden-Sydney. So we head to the bottom of the ninth. Hampden-Sydney, after a called strike to start this at-bat here to Jock Pledger. New pitcher for Hampden-Sydney. Is Russell Bowles.
It is off. Now it is then. I thought it was.
0-2 the count. Check that. 1-2 the count. Pledger grounds that to the shortstop. And just a very razor close play at first. Pledger trying to beat that out, but out number one. Tristan Jones heads into the batter's box. Pinch hitting opportunity for the senior from Mars Hill, North Carolina.
I went with, yeah, it looks like 20 is the bet or something. Let's get 20. Yeah, it looks like a
Line drive there to short for out number two. So that'll bring up Zach Allison. Tornadoes down to their last out here in the bottom of the ninth. Bowles, who was inserted at the start of this inning, the pitcher for the Tigers. Tigers set to improve to an 11-3 record overall this season. 2-1 the count with 2 outs. And the 2-1. Called strike, 2-2. It's down to the final strike now. Right around a 3-hour game time. And the pitch. Allison drills that up the middle for a base hit. Runner at first for the Tornadoes. So that brings up Holden Lanier. Who goes with the classic Jump Around walk-up tune by House of Pain.
What a classic. Nothing beats a classic, Phil.
So we've hit just about every genre of music
I said we should have
this afternoon.
Just like announced me as somebody else. Say I'm
As Lanier gives this a ride, but it's going to be handled by the left fielder of Hampden-Sydney, and that'll be a 13-3 final score. Hampden-Sydney on top. So your final score at Gilcone Field, Hampden-Sydney 13, Brevard 3. Hampden-Sydney with 17 hits, and the Tornadoes with 9 hits. And the Tornadoes will be back in action on Wednesday, another non-conference matchup, this time against Emory in Henry, 3 p.m. first pitch. Want to thank all those who helped us out. Nicole, Kelly, Destiny, Joseph, Angie, Rob, the whole gang. Great job behind the scenes here. And we will see you on Wednesday when the Tornadoes will be back in action against Emory in Henry. Thanks again for joining us for this edition of Brevard College Baseball. We'll see you down the road. Go Tornadoes.